Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another segment of JJ's PC Builds. This is JJ right here. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take and roll things back a little bit and tell you what I'm gonna do. What's going to happen is this. I'm going to take and I'm going to start with Nvidia, and I'm going to work my way up the video card lane. I'm going to give you an inside of every card that Nvidia has, starting from the bottom, which I'm going to start at the 1660 Ti, let's say. I'm going to start there, and then I'm going to work my way up the list. I'm not going to be able to get every card, but I'm going to try to get you close to the low budget end cards that I can, to the mid level, to the upper level budget cards. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through every one of them, almost every one of them, to give you a general idea of what card does what. I'm sure there's many reviewers that's done many of cards, but what we're going to do is we're going to roll this B-roll and we're going to come back and we're going to get started. So stick around, and here we go. Oh, hey, welcome back, welcome back. Alright, this is where we're going to start. We are going to start with the 1660 Ti. Okay, this is Nvidia's 1660 Ti. The graphics processor is the TU116. Okay, if you see a card that looks like this, then you're in luck, because this has got 1536 core, which is good if you're going to be on like a Second Life gaming or light load gaming. It's still a good card. It's got 96 TMUs, it's got 48 ROPs, and it's got 6 gigabytes of VRAM. Its memory type is GDDR6, and it's 192-bit. Now, that's not bad. Now, don't get me wrong, that's not bad. Right here, this seems like it's pretty good for what I'm going to go at, because I'm sitting here thinking that in graphics terms of what I got on my system for an integrated graphics, this is higher than that is. So it might be a card that I'm looking for, might invest in it. Time will tell. But the base clock, it gives 1500 megahertz. The boost clock, it gives 1770 megahertz. And 1500 megahertz of memory clock at 12 gigabytes per second effective. Okay, basically that if once it hits that 1500 megahertz mark, that means it pushes it up to the flow rate of 12 gigabytes per second. Now, my iGPU on my computer now is 1600 gigabytes per second. So, I don't know. See, it's got a bus interface PCIe 3.0 x16. That's not bad neither. Okay, it's got 6,600 million transistors. It's 12 nanometers. Its foundry is TSMC. Its architecture is the Turing. Not too bad. Okay, the shading units is at 1536. Its SM count is 24. It's got an L2 cache of 1536 KBs. Okay, so if you did it by the calculator, 1536 KBs, okay, You did 1536 KBs, and you minus 1024 for 1 megabyte. Okay. You figure that's giving you 1.5 megs off the L2 cache. It's giving you 1.5 megabytes. That's still not great, but it's still not bad neither. And the pixel rates are pretty good. They're not bad in the F16, the FP16 and FP32 are pretty good in the T flops. It's not a bad card. It's the shader model 6.6. It's got 7.5 CUDA core. It's got Vulkan 1.3. It's got OpenCL 3.0, OpenGL 4.6. Now, and DirectX 12.1. Okay, now the thing is this: when you run Second Life, the only thing you really want to look at is right here, the OpenGL 4.6. Now, most of your cards now these days will run OpenGL 4.6 across the board. So either way you look at it, no matter what card you get, as long as it's above 2 gigs of VRAM, 2 gigabytes of VRAM or better, it's going to run great on Second Life, just to let you know. So it's got a power connection, 8-pin power connection. It runs DVI, HDMI 2.0, and its display port is 1.4A, which is not bad neither if you're running 1080p. So this basically will get you to 1080p. Decent running 1080p, just to for say. TDP is 120 watts. They suggest a 300 watt power supply, and that seems like it's pretty good for low and mid-level gaming, no matter what you play. Okay, it's still going to run you pretty good low mid-level gaming. So not unless you, and the next successor that's above that, it says the RTX 3050 8 gigabyte is 102%. Now if you go to Tech Power Up, right, and you pull up your GPU and you go to the relative performance chart that's there, you can see what the next runner up in percentages are going to get you to that next level graphics card if you're looking for a next level. Now it says the next one, the 1660 Ti, next up is the 3050 RTX 3050, the 8 gigabyte version. It says that's the next runner up. But then you go and the next up after that is Vega 56, and then the GTX 1070, then the Radeon RX 5600 XT, and so on. This is where you can take and you can go on Amazon, you can go on eBay, or wherever you want to shop. Take this relevant chart with you. Me, I would still recommend, the RX 6600. I mean, I'm sorry, I have a feeling that's going to be a better card for my situation, just for say. But I'd rather try to keep all mine AMD until I see something better coming out of Nvidia. So I'm kind of a AMD fanboy here a little bit, but I'm waiting for Nvidia to impress me. And so far I haven't seen the impressions that, But anyway, this is a video about Nvidia's 1650 Ti or 1660 Ti. Okay? Even though, I don't use or have the card, I can still give you an idea if it's going to be right or wrong for you. I mean, they give a listing down, and Tech Power Up's always been great. They have all the recent charts and everything else. You might want to check them out. And big shout out to Tech Power Up for the awesome stuff you have here. I mean, they got many listings on the 1660. The 1660 Ti. They get all the listings, looks like almost 100% of the listings of all the cards that are out there for the 1660, and you can always find it here. I mean, if you want to look up like Asus dual GTX 1660 Ti Evo, you can look it up. This is just baseline of Nvidia. It's original Founders Edition. Original. That's what this is. So, but it gives you explanation about everything about it. I mean, it's awesome to find out. If you don't know what if you're looking up a card and you're trying to do it, let's say from Amazon, let's go ahead and just use Amazon as a site. So what we'll do is we'll go to Amazon, and then we'll look up GPU graphics cards. Let's say 1660 Ti. Okay, so you got prices here. You got $218 on the Evo 1660 Ti, $349. You got $249, $300, $498, $499. Yeah, I mean, the 1050, but just a general sense on a 1660 Ti, just for say if you can get your hands on it. Let's say 1660 Super, since we're looking at 1660. 215, 249, 259, 264, 1660, 215, super overclock 240, they got the Evo overclocked, the Ti 218. It depends on what you want. I mean, if you're going to get a card, if you're really going to get a card, try to stay in between 6 gigabytes of VRAM and up, and try to watch on the frequency, try to stay above 1500 megahertz and up, and try to get what you can get, basically. It's not going to be easy, but it's not going to be difficult neither. I was just giving you all an impression of what the 1660 Super's all about, and price-wise, see, they even got one here for a Ti for $189. And that's, when they say renewed, that basically means that it's used. So, and they got 1650. I heard things about 1650. I really ain't going to recommend the 1650 to y'all. The 730, I'm not going to recommend that either, because I have the 730 in my other computer, and it doesn't hold up to the way I expected it to hold up to. And it didn't impress me, especially when they lied about the cores, how many cores it has. And that was totally ridiculous. So that's a card I won't recommend to anybody. But price wise, look very carefully when you're pricing your stuff out. The 1660 Ti might be a card that you might want to look at, as far as if you want low level gaming and stuff. I've heard 1660 Super, a friend of mine's got. He says it's real good. He says he does low level gaming. He does. But as far as it does light level workloads, if you do editing and stuff like that, it doesn't do too bad with editing. And it's what your taste is all about. Me, I can recommend it, but I'm going to tell you, that's if you want to get started and you want a card that's just going to get you out there. I would start with the 1660 and up. That's where I would start. Any cards below that, I'm not going to recommend them, because they're not really going to hold that much water. So, but anyway, there's my impression on the 1660 Ti and a little bit of the Super and of the 1660 itself. If you're going to get something, make sure it's got the 6 gigabytes or greater on it, and make sure it's overclockable, so that way you can take it to its max if you have to. So make sure it's not locked, because if it's not saying overclock, then 9 out of 10 chances you might get a locked GPU, and you don't want to get a locked GPU. That's the whole thing. You want something with scale, something that's going to be able to scale down the power, but bring up the frequency, bring everything up to where you get more FPS. But anyway, that's my take. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. It would be much appreciated. We're still working towards our goals. So until the next time, and I thank all of the subscribers that have subscribed to the channel. Till the next time, we will see you on the next video. So do have a great day.